Hello, hello, and welcome back to Minotaur Hotel. We're at the start of the hinterland. I don't know what that really means, but I guess I'll find out. The Minotaur dreams. Snapshots around him, shifting back and forth. Oh? That's not a Asterion. Okay. Sun beating on his back. Fur was always damp from wearing hoodies. A stream of sweat running down his brow. Dry clay caked the fabric. He smelled sour. Soft cloth over his blossoming horns. Some shade over his eyes. A tail tucked inside his shorts. Oh, he's wearing like short shorts. Okay. Then torn hoodies when his horns wouldn't be hidden anymore. Okay. Bruises after class, hidden underneath black fur. Then an hour or two of numbers, cold, gentle little blocks. He was holding a pencil now, no more than an inch long after being used to its ends. He wrote the numbers down with love, each 7 crosses over in the middle, symmetrical rows of 6s and 9s, a perfect curve for each 2. It took him a while, but he mastered the 8. The 2 bubbles had to be mirrored. Then class was over. Okay. Years later, syntax and grammar, verbs, adjectives, nouns, things I'm unfamiliar with, approached the delicate woman. The teacher said, "Across the unwavering sea." Unwary sea, not unwavering. What am I? Unwary? Okay. Sentences stretches on and on, near little bricks. A hollow-hooved bowl, he said. Snickers. The boy disliked these words. Then came interpretations, texts. He likes the stories, but the rules of his mind was different from those the books held dear. History and geography were puzzling, too soft and pliable. They escaped through his fingers. Philosophy was fine as long as it was close to mathematics, but biology was an insult. Bruises after failing biology, punished for punching back, made to wear corks at his school. Stopped school, but kept the numbers and all the little bricks he could carry. Walking to the store with his mom, with mom. Men sneer and spit insults at them, pretending he doesn't know what zoophile means. Oh, okay, that's just a ladybug. Okay. She pulls his arm. Maybe this time she'll dislocate it. She never said She never said who his father is. Maybe she doesn't know, but he's human. She assures him between drags of the cigarette smoke. Oh, okay. There is a kindness in family. They are the only people who see fit to ignore him. But that's not enough. Run away. Spent a while in the wilderness, then the city. Looked for a job. Returned home. Tried again. This time, stole enough money to get a bus to someplace further away. Slept under a bridge, always during the day. Night hides his horns and muzzle. The aisle's emptied when he goes to the store. He asks to leave the burger joint with a note on the bag to not eat it. Good enough for his stolen money, but not for his presence. Fail. Try again. Fail worse. Go home. Ah, howdy there. Did I disturb you? Even before his consciousness awakes. The Minotaur has already planted his hooves on the soil and pushed himself deeper into the alcove. His ears flicker, eyes leapt around until they focus on the man, blocking the sun. He can't catch any features, and in fact, an inch at the back of his head makes it impossible to tell what he's looking at. Words cross his mind, his lips tighten. Is the man talking to him? Or is there someone else just out of sight? Maybe, the Minotaur thinks. He hasn't seen me. He parts his lips and draws a breath, slow through his teeth, to not make a sound.
Ah, I came at a bad time, didn't I? I'm awfully sorry to bother you. But I was passing by. Come down here to sort of a personal issue. And a family friend made it a point that I should meet you.
The man takes a notepad from his back pocket. Each page flip it is accompanied by a crisp ruffling of paper. He scans it before going.
Again, sorry to bother. And I know what I'm about to say will sound strange, but would you happen to own or live in a hotel? Excuse me. Now, that's an awfully dumb question. Alright. You think I'll be sleeping here if I owned a hotel? Yes, forgive me. I had to make sure. Can't leave any stone unturned.
The man gives his notepad another once-over, followed by a sigh as he runs a hand through his hair, slicking it back.
When I was passing through the village, I was told you were looking for a job. I happen to need some help, and can make it worth your while.
The Minotaur grinds his teeth while searching for malice in the stranger's voice. Every word discreet, every moment judged.
You must have got the wrong guy.
The stranger shifts his weight on his legs. Perhaps he frowns, but the Minotaur can't tell for sure. It's like there's a gaping hole where the man's face should be.
No, I'm sure you are exactly who I'm looking for. I was told I could find you
There it is, the same thing in all men and women. The Minotaur tightens his fists and lets his head droop a tad lower, pointing his horns towards the man.
A what? A kindred spirit. Someone who can appreciate my situation. Birds of a feather flock together, and all that.
The itch at the back of his mind grows maddening. The man's voice sounds choppy, and perhaps the Minotaur's ears are failing him.
Let me cut to the chase. It will all make a lot more sense if I just show you.
The man takes a booklet from his pocket, opens it, and swipes a finger on a page. The itch at the back of the Minotaur's mind dies down, but in turn his vision starts to feel wrong. He keeps staring at the man's blurred, unreadable features. Okay. For a moment, they even seem...
There.
All better now? Who's okay? The sun disappears behind the horizon, and at last the Minotaur can see the creature's face. His heart skips a beat as he leaps upright. Oh, it's Bottle. Okay. Also, I love this. I love this face. Oh no.
Oh, what the fuck are you?
A man. Or, so it would seem to most. But in truth, I am like you, just different, here and there. People just call me P, so pleasure to make your acquaintance, Mr. Dream, the Minotaur thinks. This has to be a dream. He draws a breath that sticks in his throat. A bile of fire bubble to the top of his stomach. Well, It doesn't matter for now. Now that you can see me for what I am, let me explain my situation. I'm here in the hinterlands to deal with a certain family matter. My grandfather, God rest his soul, spent a good deal of his life chasing after a very special place. He called it the Minotaur's Hotel. It's supposed to be around this area, but he couldn't even find it. And yes, as you can see, I am not really a human, am I? Neither was my grandpa, of course. Chances are this hotel I'm looking for is quite peculiar, too. So, I want to prove my old man right. And, as luck would have it, I heard a story about a Minotaur of all things here in the valley. That can't be a coincidence, right? So I came here to see with my own eyes, and sure enough, you look like the real thing. And let me tell you, finding you was no easy task. The closer I got to this pond, the less sense the roads make. There's something real fishy going on here. Even if you have no information about the Minotaur's Hotel, I still have a job for you. I just can't believe this is a coincidence. Why? A part of me wants to believe the fates conspired to set this in motion. So, I want to hire you. I believe you might be able to find me, to help me find what I'm looking for. Sound good to you? The last lingering remnants of sleep flee the Minotaur's mind. His hooves scramble on the dry clay, and his teeth grind together as his heart burns. If this ain't a dream, then I must be cursed or going mad, or this is a monster trying to trick me.
How do I know this ain't some kind of trick? That you aren't a devil or something?
Devil? Now that's... have you ever seen one before? He hasn't. Never in all his years has he witnessed anything that, without a shadow of a doubt, broke the veil of mundane life. But he's heard the stories.
There's a lot of weird things here. You never know.
I see. Well, I can tell you that I'm not a devil, but I won't be able to give you much proof of it. I mean, how can someone prove he isn't a devil? I wouldn't know a test to verify it. That said, seeing as you don't seem convinced, I can sweeten our deal a bit. You saw my trick, right? My very own human disguise, with which no one can see what I really am. It's all thanks to this little booklet here. What we call a charm. It is difficult. Am I bleeding? That's fine. It sure is difficult not being human, isn't it? Undoubtedly so, when you have no worry of blending in. Judging from what I heard about you in the village, it seems as if you never had one of these. On any other night, saying such things to a Minotaur would spark a fight, especially when spoken in the peacock's tone of Blythe on condensation. But not here, not now. The Minotaur gazes at the booklet, and despite the haze of his fear, visions overtake him. The man to become a man. And as soon as the words pierce his thoughts, everything comes unlatched. Dreams spring forth, a fountain of possibilities he had sealed in a vase and refused to think about. Before you get any ideas, I'm sorry to say that taking mine won't do you any good, for the most part. They only work for the person they're made for. But that's no issue at all. I can make one for you, right here and now. And with that, the Minotaur realizes just why people sell their souls.
You're speaking more and more like a devil, you know that. A stranger comes up, you aren't even human, and now you're talking about this weird stuff. If I ain't dreaming, then you must be a devil. That's clear as day.
Not a dream, no sir. And not a devil either. That's far too Christian for my taste. I'm much more of a, shall we say, old-fashioned kind of guy. Much like you, I imagine. Perhaps. Although, I suppose that I have to say, well, what I have to say won't do much good for my cause.
What do you mean?
How to put this? Let me speak frankly. I want something from you, and I'm willing to pay for your time. That said, the situation you are in, it's wrong. People like us aren't supposed to walk around showing our true selves. That's the law, and we can be punished for it. You're lucky in a way. This place is in such a hellhole that gossip about you never traveled too far. Or perhaps it's bad luck, seeing as you'd have gotten help long ago if you lived somewhere decent. I can make a charm for you right here and now. By the end of this night, you'll have your very own human disguise. All I want is that you consider taking my offer. I'll pay you to help me find this place, the Minotaur Hotel. It shouldn't take long. I'll only be here for 2 weeks at most. And sweeten it up further, while we're working together, I'll teach you everything there is to know about, well, not being human. Do we have a deal? Sound leaps from across the pond. Grasshoppers and cicadas, singing birds, letting out distant cries while returning to their nests. Ripples emerge from the center of the pond itself to dance upon its otherwise placid surface. The concentric waves lays their way to the shore, displacing thin clouds of sediment with their emotion. A splashing sound, like a distant sea inside one's own head. The Minotaur draws a breath and hunches over. Hummingbirds peck at the back of his head, raising each fur strand at one at a time. It's like a dream of stitched together visions, going to the grocery store in the village, where all the products have a thin coating of road dust, where people perk their ears to catch his hoof steps. The unending humiliation that comes with purchasing something as simple as a candy bar. Grinding his teeth against their stares, and ignoring their disgust of him, as if he bore some terrible deformity, being ignored in turn. Best not to interact with the cursed. His mind goes back to when he was younger, when he would wear hoodies to cover up his face. Panic when his horns got too wide to be hidden away. The hummingbirds dig their beaks into his skin as yet more visions rise. Being out on the streets like any other unassuming passerby, out and about, without hiding away from fear and hatred. Those who once stared at him, now unaware of his identity. He can make a nickname for himself, born anew. This is his salvation. And this man, he must be a demon. There must be a catch. Then again, he's damned already. If he wasn't fated for hell from the day he was born, when circumstances sure had left him with no other choice. Any price is worth it to be a human, even his soul.
You dare have to lie. I mean, you don't have to lie. None of this can be true. And if it is, I know you must want something more. I'm still not convinced you aren't a devil, sir. Or if there's something else you're after. But even if you are, and you intend on taking my soul, consider this deal taken. I'll do the job and whatever else you ask of me. Just make me into a human, no matter the cost.
You're a funny kid. Very well. Our pact is sealed. Let's not waste any time, eh? Tell me, what's the water like in your pond over there?
Salty, dead. Nothing grows there. You better not drink it.
That won't do then. We need a proper place to do it. I believe I saw a crossroads on my way over here. The charm will be stronger if we craft it there. Let's go. And start collecting dry wood on the way. We'll need to make a bonfire. Cute. I'll end the part here, I think. So I'll see you guys around.